welcome to tonight's episode of Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel. And as always, I have a very special guest for you, Mechael Wright Hodges, founder of the Direct Energy Weapons Agency. She'll be with us for the next 30 minutes, so stay with us. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Beyond Focus TV allows you to discuss contemporary topics affecting the Caribbean people on both a national and local level. The show features informed guests who offer insight, debate, and evaluate various issues. Beyond Focus TV builds on the station's mission to provide useful information to the Caribbean people in New York and abroad. Beyond Focus TV, where our viewing audience can get educated, informed, and empowered. Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel. Like I said, I have a very special guest for you. Mechael, welcome to the program.
Hi, Lydia.
Oh, it's great to have you. We love having people in the community who are doing great things, big things, exclusive things, and that's why you're here tonight, to really bring everyone up to speed on what you're doing. So before we get started, I always ask everyone my hot seat question, which is who is? So who is Mechael Wright Hodges?
My name is Mechael Wright Hodges. I was born Mechael Pierre-Antoine. I was born to a Haitian family. My grandmother and grandfather had 13 children.
Ooh.
My mother is one of 13. We have a whole bunch of cousins, aunts and uncles, a whole bunch of people. We were raised in a family setting.
Mm-hmm.
We did a lot of partying and things like that. It was a very good environment. Growing up, I had a very good childhood. I'm very grateful for the way I was raised. Some of my family members, my aunts and uncles, were in business. They ran their own businesses, so that kind of influenced me into doing my own businesses. I went into event planning in the beginning. Well, not so much in the beginning. In the beginning, I actually delivered newspapers.
Okay.
In my neighborhood, where my grandmother and grandfather helped me stuff the plastic bags. There was penny savers, because that's when we moved to Long Island, and I got a job with Penny Saver in Long Island. So that was actually my first job. As time went on, as I grew older, that's when I went into event planning and started organizing little events here and there. And went to school. I did a bunch of different things.
Yes.
I did a bunch of different things as an experience. I'm very grateful for all the experience I've had. I had a bunch of good teachers. The professional community has been good to me.
Good.
But fast forward right now, I'm currently involved with the Direct Energy Weapons Agency. The purpose for Direct Energy Weapons Agency is to educate, raise awareness, and help protect citizens from the criminal use of direct energy weapons. Direct energy weapons would be easier to explain through the recent events from the embassy workers of what they experienced in regards to the Havana Syndrome.
Okay.
The Havana Syndrome is similar to what civilians have been experiencing long before it was reported by them.
So what is that? So just to give everyone a little bit of context at home, because it's all these big words and what does it mean? Let's break it down.
Because these weapons are very difficult to detect. You wouldn't even know if anyone was attacking you with it or harassing you with it. Criminals, they're mischievous. They do things. They're very creative. They're very creative as to what they do to accomplish their goal. Unfortunately, these weapons are so good at what they do that a cop and a police officer, even a medical professional, wouldn't be able to tell if a person was attacked by it.
So when you are attacked by it, what type of, I guess, to get a fuller scope of what it is.
Yes.
What types of attacks are we looking at? Like, describe a scenario where someone might be attacked or what we should look out for.
Yes. Neighbor, because other victims have, shared their stories. So I'll just, pick from, their stories. A victim is in their apartment. All of a sudden they hear loud booms, but it's not even a boom from a speaker. It's the acoustic weapons. It's the, the police uses long-range acoustic devices. These devices, when they turn them on, they're used to disperse crowds. So, that's on the professional.
Sometimes, like where they would hurt your ears or
yes,
something.
Yes, it does, and it happens. People have experienced it. Now, on the criminal level, when these local criminals get a hold of these weapons, because they can buy it online, and they could be living next to you, and all of a sudden you just get these throbbing headaches in your head. You can't explain why you're just suddenly experiencing a headache. So this particular woman was just experiencing a headache. She went to the doctor. They diagnosed her with tinnitus, and there's no way to go and say, you know what, I think it's coming from next door. Then they go next door.
You would not know to correlate that.
There's no, it's impossible. It's impossible. It's only because this woman is aware of her health. She knows, when she's aware of her surroundings, so she knows the difference when someone's attacking her or if it's health related. So she tried to report it. The police referred her over to a psychiatric institution. Yes, because these type of weapons leave no mark. The Department of Defense has even expressed their concern about how undetectable these weapons are. Even our military, they need sensors. They haven't even gotten the sensors yet. They need sensors. Military and police, local police, they need sensors to be able to detect when these weapons are in use, because they could be at home, they could be anywhere. Who knows who is targeting even our law enforcement? Because, criminals, they blame police when they get arrested. It's all the cops' fault. And they could start stalking the cops just because he was doing his job.
So I guess an important question to share with the audience would be, what is achieved on the criminal's end? So I understand like check theft and, like cyber attacks, because there's a goal usually to wipe out your account, steal your identity, all those different things. What is the purpose of using these energy devices? Like what on the thefts? I'm trying to understand from a thief's point of view.
Yes.
Why would I go through the trouble to do this?
Sometimes just to disable you from going to work. Everyone has a goal. There's always a goal to every action.
Correct.
Yes, just like you said. So the goal, I can't actually tell you what the goal is, because it's actually crazy for someone to sit there and harass you in that sort of way.
Because I was like, I don't see, and I'm not condoning by any means cyber attacks or anything like that, but I could understand identity theft. You steal somebody's social, you pretend to be them. The goal is to open up credit and run fraud and open things up and tarnish somebody's credit. There's a means to that. You would take that to go do this. So there's a direct reasoning. I just don't understand why somebody would want to do harm.
To assassinate your character sometimes. Sometimes you may be involved in something professional. You may have an important job, or you may be in a certain position, or you may operate a business, or you may be thinking about going into a business. People are a little more calculated. They're more advanced because of technology, so they think a little more faster, a little more deeper. They're a little more direct in their attacks.
Yeah.
So it's not just anybody's attacked with these. These individuals are in pretty... in the areas of their professional life, there is a reason that certain people
are selected.
Yes, are selected. So they could be deemed crazy, because then when they say, like the embassy workers, they did go after them and said that they were all crazy, that how can, because they said they heard like bees, a bee sound. But then it could be any other of there are weapons out there that do, target your hearing, like the long-range acoustic device.
Right.
So these weapons do exist. It's just a matter of just doing the research and just trying to find the illnesses, the related illnesses. So they would have to do this. It's a lot of work, behind it. But through the direct
Hold
energy.
that thought.
Okay.
Hold that thought. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. So, Mechael, tell us how you come into all this, and how does direct energy all come into play?
Okay, with the Direct Energy Weapons Agency, we formed it to address these issues. We have a great team. One of the team members, she's in England. Her name is Alison Smith. She's involved in her own case involving direct energy weapons in England. She's part of the ICADR. It's not necessarily a lawsuit. They're just trying to establish a law where they recognize these kind of crimes. So I really admire her for what she's doing. The other part of our team is Darlene Peck. She's one of our board of directors, and also Aaron Smith is another one of our board of directors, and also Amy. Sorry, I can't remember her last name right now, but she's.
Amy, we love you.
I know. She's a specialist in audio. She can pick up the sounds of people. Also, there's a problem where people are hearing voices, and it's not necessarily voices. Because,
Wow.
yeah, it's not necessarily voices. There are acoustic weapons where people can transmit their voices into your head. Her specialty is audio. What she does is have the victim make a recording, and she puts it through her equipment, and she can actually pick up the voices of the other people that are talking, that are transmitting into that victim. So it's not necessarily, it is the criminals, of course it's the criminals, but now the technology has set a new way for criminals to attack citizens. It's just a new weapon. It's not only guns and knives. Now it's direct energy weapons. It's acoustic weapons, short range acoustic devices, because these things can be found online. You can go online and get almost anything. And unfortunately, these weapons are available for right now online, because right now, Department of Defense and our government agencies, they are working on it, because of the embassy workers, and I'm sure they'll be addressing the citizens' complaints of these kind of attacks and harassments.
So what are some of the typical weapons that you've seen that are classified under direct energy weapons?
Well, a simpler one where the audience can actually relate to is a directional speaker. A directional speaker only points the sound only to you. There was a commercial, we have it posted on our website, where they were advertising this directional speaker. They had it in a supermarket, whereas when the person stepped on a certain area, it was near bananas, and then they said to the person that only was in that circle, buy a banana, buy a banana. And you see the people just looking around like, who's telling me to buy a banana? And it's coming from that speaker. So everyone around them couldn't hear them, only that one speaker. So that speaker is actually an example of how acoustic weapons work.
Okay.
So because that speaker can be made, then it validates, it's actually evidence that yes, acoustic weapons can be directed at one person. So you could be sitting with your friend talking and only she hears somebody talking. She says, I hear somebody talking to me. You're going to look at her like, who in the hell? There's
Right.
nobody talking to you.
Nobody's talking to you.
Yeah, but if, somebody that's targeting her could, do that to her, unfortunately. So it is happening, and there are victims. We have received reports from victims. Once we receive them, we do forward it over to the FBI so they can investigate and just, raise awareness that, yes, it is happening to civilians. It's just unfortunate that the police, is not acknowledging it yet. I do have faith in our law enforcement. I do have faith in our law enforcement and Department of Defense. But
So they don't acknowledge this?
Not right now. No, because it's very difficult to prove. It's not really their fault. It's very difficult to prove. These weapons leave no trace. No trace. It's unfortunate, but it's happening.
So then what do you think, as an advocate for this,
Yes.
could be done to really bring enlightenment, to show proof? Because, yes, we live in a country where you need to have your facts. It's proof-based. We
Yes.
can't go on feelings or,
Yes.
We need solid proof. How do you think, or what technology could be in place to help mitigate that?
Also, right now, the Department of Defense is working on sensors for the military. So I hope they will extend those sensors over, to us as civilians, to the public, just to let us know when there is presence of radio frequency attacks or, direct energy attacks. So I do hope, once they do arm the military with it, that they could give it to the citizens also. On our part, we're just collecting reports, so that victims can report that they are being harassed or tortured by by these type of weapons. They can email it to us. We have that information on our website. They could go onto our website and they'll see the information. That's what we're doing for them now, because there aren't any reports. They are taking them, but they're not investigating, because it's very hard to prove. So if our government can't prove it, so how are we going to prove it? So we have to wait, because they have experts in there and they're working on it. So eventually they will get there. But we're servicing the victims for now, where they can send in their reports to report where it is that they are being harassed or tortured. We can't go around, of course, accusing the CIA, the FBI, this and that. We don't do that at our agency. We don't do that. We just take the reports and what it is that you think is happening to you. A lot of them have evidence, so they have done their due diligence. They have
Right.
been recording. They have been doing what they need to do. Go to the doctor, get tested. Test for the arthritis. Well, you go onto to our website and they'll see, what tests that we recommend for them to have, because then we could see traces of lead, any metals in their blood.
Wow.
Arthritis is another common symptom. But see, arthritis, it could come from almost anything.
Anything. Well, hold that thought.
Yeah.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Stay with us. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. So, Mechael, why don't you tell us, how is your agency funded and how are you guys being promoted?
Okay. The funding is slow. Yeah, the funding is slow. We're promoting ourselves. We do it through the social media and through Allison and Amy, through their email list. So we're getting, through to the victims in that way. As far as public-wise, we haven't, sent out a big press release. The only press release we did was just for people to come and work with us. As we do grow, we will, get the word more word out there.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, it's just trying to get the victims on the same page, that we do need them to report their harassments and injuries, so the government can also see what areas where most of these attacks are happening, because it is happening, within the United States. Is actually happening worldwide, because it's happening in China, it's happening in India, it is happening worldwide, but it's also happening in the United States of America. There have been reports of Havana syndrome that even occurred in Washington, D.C. So these things are happening.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's just so crazy to think that there is so little that could actually be done to prove this in the
Yes.
meantime. But, the goal is to ultimately get there.
Yes.
What's next for the agency? other projects that you have to carry you through the rest of 2022 and, of course, into 2023?
Right. We look to establish DO Police, Direct Energy Weapons Police Office, where victims can come physically and do put in a report. We plan on teaming up with a medical facility where they can also test the victims immediately, just the baseline tests where they can show or pick up what it is if these victims are in fact suffering or being harassed by direct energy weapons, because there are baseline tests that do show it. That's as far as we go for the rest of this year. That's what we look to plan to establish, is a direct energy weapons police office. Yes.
Wow. How many cases right now, since the inception, have you, or how many reports I should say, have you taken in?
Yes, we've taken over 500 so far. We have
all New York based or globally?
United States. Yeah, United States only. Globally, we have a list of people that we still have to reach out to. We have over 20,000. So it's just a matter of getting to those victims, to report it to us, because they still have to come, to us to report it, and just put it on as a fact base. Mm-hmm. So then we can forward it over and package it and hand it over, to the Department of Defense, so that way they can look it over in the proper way. We're just preparing the documents for them, because it's only them that can really go forward and develop what we need to protect ourselves here, at home. So we're just doing the footwork.
Absolutely. Yeah. Is your agency recognized by law enforcement?
Not as of yet. It's still early. So we do. It is happening. I have been to visit police chiefs. So they say congratulations and good work.
Are they aware of this?
They are aware.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they are aware. Yes.
So they're not in the dark about this.
No, they are aware of us. They know we exist. We are very careful. We do want to work with them, but we just had to get things moving, because there are a lot of people that are being harassed and tortured within the United States of America. So we had to get started. We look at it as we're a solutions-based organization, and we're just looking to help the government and the citizens at the same time. So we're the middleman. We're just trying to connect all the dots. That's all.
How does that make you feel that you're one of the sole women-led agency and women of color as well?
It's exciting. It's exciting. It's exciting. I'm nervous also. Just want to make sure we do the right thing. We don't want to step on anyone's toes. And we have a good team. They're very supportive.
That's great.
We have a good team. We're moving along productively. We're productive. We're moving carefully. That's it. I'm at a loss for words.
No, that's fine. What has been the most challenging aspect for you on this journey?
The challenging?
What's been the most challenging for you?
It hasn't been too challenging, because so far, everything that we've tried to do, we've been able
to do it.
Yeah, able to do it. It's slow. It's slow. It's not moving, as fast as we would like it to. But all good things come to those who wait, I guess.
Yes.
So we're going at a turtle's pace, just dotting our I's and crossing our T's, to make sure that this agency lasts. And you never know, it might become one of a government agency. You never know. It will be nice. But it's another resource. It's another resource for victims within the United States, someplace on the go, because the United States always, looks out for its citizens. So these group of people do need somewhere to report their injuries, and somewhere to be taken care of as far as treatment, even though it is very difficult. It's very difficult, because once you see that some of the injuries that these victims are experiencing are so similar to existing illnesses.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very difficult, because even tinnitus is another one. Tinnitus is a really big one, and it's unfortunate. And it's no cure for tinnitus. Your ears just keep ringing forever.
Oh, wow.
So.
And the frequency, it's a constant.
It's a constant.
Do you ever get
ringing.
immune to it, where you
No.
could just live?
It's just a constant ringing. It's just a constant ringing. Well, you could relieve it with the white noise machine. And that was a Marine referred, that to one of the victims and said that, hey, one of the ways that you can relieve, that ringing is getting a white noise machine. So the white noise machine actually helps victims with tinnitus also. Yeah.
Wow, so these weapons can bring on that illness.
Yes, it can. Yes. It's because they don't leave a trace. They don't leave a trace.
It's irreversible.
Yes, it is. They don't leave a trace.
Wow.
Yes.
Mechael, this is such a wealth of information. I hope everybody at home is really glued to this, because it's something that we don't think about because it's not in our day-to-day.
Right. It's not in the news. They're not reporting it. Well, not yet. But they are going into the Havana syndrome. But once they delve a little deeper about Havana syndrome, when they focus a little more on the weapons and the technology that's out there, then I believe they'll cover it a little bit more. It's just a matter of just raising awareness.
Raising awareness.
Just now, we're raising awareness right now.
That's it.
We're raising
Mechael,
awareness.
thank you so much for joining
I
us. We look
thank
forward
you.
to having you back again.
I thank you very much.
Always.
Thank you.
And as always, if you have any questions or comments, you can send us an email at info@beyondfocusmedia.com. I'm your host, Lydia Patel. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be back again next week. Same time, same place. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Stay with us.
Beyond Focus TV show wants and needs your feedback. Did we blunder? Please let us know so we can improve. Was the show helpful to you? Drop us a note so we can share the success with our staff members. Is there something you think we could do better? We welcome new ideas and new approaches to old ideas. Do you have a great suggestion? Let us know and we'll work on it. If you would like to share your comments anonymously, please send us an email at info@beyondfocusmedia.com. If you want to get in touch with the executive producer directly, send him an email at gene@beyondfocusmedia.com. We really look forward to hearing from you.